This should be my last haul of 2019. I could have actually divided this into 2 hauls. There's quite a lot of books, but I just want to get this over with so that I can put these books away. So let's just get into it. I would say the majority of these books, if not all of these books, were bought on Book Outlet for like less than $5 because I'm super cheap. The first 2 books here are classics. These ones I actually bought at Chapters because they had like a 3 for $10 deal. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde and The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. And then I think my boyfriend bought one as well, which was like 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something, I'm not sure. I never read these in school, and these are some of the classics that sound more interesting to me. I used to hate reading classics, but I'm trying to give them a chance now. The next book is My Favorite Manson Girl by Alison Uminger, I think. I love this cover, it's gorgeous. I like it much more than the other cover they have for this book. I believe this has to do with a girl who takes a job where she has to investigate and research the mysterious Manson girls. And let's face it, everyone's interested in cults, myself included, so this sounded interesting. The next book I have is An Unwanted Guest by Shira Lapena. I've never read anything by her, but this is the second book I've bought by her. I think this will be perfect for like a December read because of the fact that it's about a group of people who are stuck in a cabin and someone gets murdered and they have to figure out who's the murderer in the cabin. It sounds very Agatha Christie and I'm super intrigued, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick this one up this month. My cats are losing their damn minds. The next book I bought was Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. I heard that this is very Hunger Games-esque, and that's all anyone needs to say to get me to pick up a book because, I mean, I love the Hunger Games and I just want more shit like that. This has to do with something called the Brimstone Bleed, which is an epic race across jungle, desert, sea, and mountain that could win her the prize she desperately desires, the cure for her brother's illness. That sounds awesome. I'm very excited to read this. I'm pretty sure this is the first in a series, which is always not great for me, but I'm gonna pick this one up super soon because like this is definitely up there on my want to read list. The next book is called One More Lie by Amy Lloyd. It has to do with a woman who just gets out of prison and she's trying to move on with her life, but she starts going back to those old behaviors and then her ex-boyfriend shows up. I love a good thriller, and this seems a little bit different than the normal types of thrillers, so I'm into this. The next thing I picked up was Hatchet by Gary Paulson. I never read this in school. I actually had never even heard of it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, how it was one of their favorite stories when they were a kid, so I decided to pick it up. It seems pretty short, so I should be able to get through it pretty quickly, and I know it's a survival tale. This might be a quick, fun thing to read pretty soon. The next thing I got was The Deceivers by Kristen Simmons. This is about a school for con artists, and I love that premise. I try not to pick up super young YA things, and this does kind of seem like Pretty Little Liars-y, I guess, in that genre or in that age range, I guess, but I don't know, there's just something about this. I love con artists and heists and stuff among that nature, so I decided I had to read it. Next book I picked up is On the Island by Tracy Garvis Graves. This is an age gap romance, I believe, between a 30-year-old teacher and a 16-year-old student that takes place on a tropical island. I think that's pretty interesting. I actually haven't read a lot of age gap romances in general, but I definitely haven't read one where the woman is older, so I'm intrigued. It's not really one of my like kinks or whatever, so I'm not sure if like I'll really like it, but I wanted to give it a shot. I've heard pretty good things. The next thing I picked up was a manga called The Promised Neverland. I believe that this is some sort of take on Peter Pan, and I believe that I've been told that it's very, very dark, which I love good dark things. I haven't read a lot of mangas yet, but I've heard that this one's really good, so I decided to pick up the first one. Next book I picked up was Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz. Honestly, I don't really know why I picked this up other than just the fact that I love the show Sherlock. So I'm not totally sure what it's about, but maybe my Sherlock loving heart will enjoy it. Next thing I picked up is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I have this in mass market paperback, but when I really, really love a book, I want to get them in hard, especially since it's kind of rare for me. I don't keep a lot of books unless they're like 5-star, adore them, and I adored this. This is about a guy who kind of gets kidnapped by himself. He gets sent to a different dimension and has to make his way back to his dimension and his family. It's definitely sci-fi, but it's also very much a thriller and very personal, and I just loved it. The next book I picked up was The One by John Marrs. So this takes place in a world where there's some sort of system where they're able to determine who is the one for you. I believe this takes place from multiple perspectives, showing different sides of what can happen when you find your true soulmate. I thought that sounds super interesting. I love that this is like a thriller, so it's going to take a dark turn on that. I enjoy that very much, and I'm very looking forward to this one. Maybe I'll read this one like for Valentine's Day or something. Next book is The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I wasn't actually going to pick this one up, but I've heard such good things about it, and I saw it on sale on Book Outlet, and I love the cover. I just got drawn in. It happens. It's basically about a bunch of girls at school who band together to kind of seek justice for some terrible things that have happened to the girls there. I love a book that tackles heavy issues, and I've heard that this is a good one. Next book is Keep You Close by Karen Cleveland. This is about an FBI agent who finds a gun in her son's room, and she's kind of coming to terms with what he planned to do with that. I think that's a super interesting premise, and I'm really looking forward to this. I love things, I know it seems like it's not very popular here on BookTube for people to love like cops and crime perspectives, whereas I actually really like that, and I think it'll be interesting to see a really personal story with that. Next book I picked up was Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groden. So this takes place in an alternate history in 1956, where I guess Hitler won, and they hold a race every year to celebrate, I guess, and the main character's main mission is to win this race so that she can meet Hitler and kill him. I think that's super interesting. I've never read an alternate history book, and I think that this will be a really interesting, fun take on it. I've watched shows like Timeless, and I really enjoy the alternate history type of thing. The next book is Golden State by Ben H. Winters. It's so weird to me when they write a novel on books as if we don't know. In this book, it takes place in a world where truth is everything, and speaking a lie is the greatest crime of all. So I'm assuming it's going to take a look at what is really considered truth, and I have a feeling I might not end up liking this because I have a feeling it's going to go over my head, but we shall see. Next book on my list is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. I don't like this cover, but it was $10 cheaper than the one that's sold in Canada and the States. So I know that this is about a group of kids who get stuck on an island or something, and they get stuck in some sort of time loop, and I think only one of them can survive, but they have to unanimously decide which one that is. Once again, I'm just very much loving like sci-fi that's more twisty and thrillery, kind of, that takes place more in the real world while still being kind of weird, I guess. So I'm very interested in this. It's actually a lot shorter than I thought, so I can get through this quicker than I thought I would, because I thought it was going to be a chunker. I'm so excited to read this. Way up at the top of the list. My next one is The Extinction Trials by S.M. Wilson. This isn't yet another book that someone said the word Hunger Games, and I was like, oh my god. And then they said the words Jurassic Park, and I was like, huh. So, perfect book for me. I'm so excited for this. I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but like, I'm very intrigued, and I'm psyched to pick this one up. The next book I picked up was Someday, Someday Maybe by Lauren Graham. Just like everyone else, I love Gilmore Girls. I also really love her in Parenthood. I think I actually like Parenthood more than Gilmore Girls, personally, but that's just me. And so I just felt like I had to pick up a book that she wrote. I think it's just about an actress trying to make it in the city. It's not something I'm honestly drawn to. Like, if Lauren Graham hadn't wrote this, I probably wouldn't read it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I've heard it's very true to her way of writing, or her way of speaking. I bought a lot of these books a long time ago, so I can't remember what they're all about. This one's called Knots and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, It says it takes place in a world filled with prejudice, and two people end up falling in love despite that. But I kind of think that this book might be like an alternate history as well, where like white people are at the bottom of the ladder, the racial ladder, or whatever. I might be wrong though. There's not much on the back that tells me a lot, so I'll have to look that up at some point. The next book is Jane Unlimited by Kristin Cashore. I know that this has something to do with many different paths that she can take in life. The character just like goes to this one house and it gives her 5 choices, and I think you follow how all 5 choices turn out or something. Once again, I love that like sci-fi twist, but to like a more grounded story, so that's another one to add to that list. The next book is Everything Beautiful Is Not Ruined by Danielle Young Ullman. I believe that this takes place at a camp where like kids who are struggling or something with like emotionally, or I think go. I honestly don't know why I bought this. It's hard to say. This happens sometimes. But like this definitely sounds like something I would have read in high school. I'm just not sure if it's up my alley anymore, but we'll see. I own it now, so I should read it. Next book I picked up was Unbury Carol by Josh Malerman. This is about a girl who can die over and over again. She never actually dies, she just goes into a coma. One day she dies and her husband decides to bury her because he wants to take all of her money. Her ex-boyfriend finds out and I think sets off to unbury her. I know people love Josh Malerman's Bird Box. That book never really appealed to me, so I haven't read it. But I wanted to try something by him and I thought this one sounded really funny and kind of cool, so. Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. Obviously this is a booktube darling, and a lot of people compare it to Harry Potter, and I'm kind of looking forward to trying that and like seeing if I can get those Harry Potter feels. Although to be honest, I don't think I actually ever finished Harry Potter anyway. But the next 2 books are part of a series. They're part of the Finishing School series. I've got the first and second book here by Gail Carriger. This is about a school where girls learn etiquette and how to be a lady, but they also learn things like espionage and how to be a spy, basically. I think that sounds really cool and badass, and I'm pretty excited to try this one out. The next book I have is One Second After by William R. Forstchen. So apparently this one's like super realistic and terrifying, so that should be fine. This has to do with electromagnetic pulse. This has to do with some sort of like terrorist thing, I think, that happens, and then it sends them into some sort of apocalypse type situation. I don't know. And people try to survive. I don't know a ton about these books, okay? I've forgotten. But I do remember being super excited about this one, so there's that, I guess. And I know that it's also part of the series. The next book I have is The Geography of Lost Things by Jessica Brody. This is a road trip book where the main character's ex-boyfriend somehow ends up tagging along for the ride. Sounds cute and summery and like something maybe I'll enjoy. I can't remember once again why I picked this up. Normally this would never be up my alley, but I remember someone reviewing it and saying something that made me want it. So here it is. Another book about a school for killers. This book is called Killing November by Adriana Mather. It seems to be another book where girls go to school to learn how to become murderers or something, and I like that, what can I say? Dark academia, girls getting revenge, I don't know. The next book I picked up was White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I've never seen the movie to this, but I know people love it. I know people really like this book. I think I included it in my 30 books I want to read before I'm 30. Okay, this book is about a girl whose mother gets imprisoned for murdering her boyfriend. And I believe it's just kind of like a trek through their lives. The next book in here is Girlfriend in a Coma by Douglas Copeland. I don't know what happened here. I don't know why there's no cover or back, but there's also no synopsis, so I don't even know how to tell you what this is about. I believe that it's about a guy whose girlfriend is in a coma and then she wakes up and it's like a bunch of years later and she has to figure out what's going on. I'm not totally positive. Next one is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunbar. for some reason I was just so in the mood for this when I bought it. Like I just wanted nothing more than like a silly historical romance. So this is what I bought and I'm looking forward to it. Next I got Orange, the Complete Collection Volume 2, and I don't own number 1, but I saw this one on sale and I was like, I need that because I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I know it's about a girl who gets a letter saying that one of her friends is going to commit suicide and she has to figure out who it is and how to stop them. I think that sounds really cool and I'm very much looking forward to this series. I've heard nothing but good things. The next book on this list is The Forsaken by Lisa M. Stasi. I mostly bought it for the cover. So I believe that this is a dystopian novel that has something to do with some test that if you fail, you end up on an island with a bunch of other teenagers who failed. I don't know, I don't read a ton of dystopians nowadays, but it had a pretty cover and I wanted it. The next book is Down to the Woods by M.J. Arledge. This is like the 7th, 8th, I don't even know what number in the Helen Grace series. I've bought all the books in the series because I really like the series. It's just a crime series about a detective who solves crimes. I enjoy it though. The next book is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. I was so excited when I saw this on Book Outlet because this is like one of the books I really want to get to. I know this book has something to do with faith. I know it has to do with a tank or something that blows up and kills some people, and I know it has to do with disability, and I'm not sure what else, but I'm very much looking forward to this. This is a gorgeous cover. I just feel like this is going to be a nuanced book and I'm excited for it. Next book is Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. This was another book I was super excited to see on Book Outlet. Holy crap, and it's signed. Huh. Should I be checking all my books to see if they're signed? Because I never thought to do that. So I don't know a ton about what this is about. I know it has to do with two students falling in love and apparently their teacher getting involved. I don't really know, but apparently there's a lot of twists and turns and it gets crazy. Next book is Goodbye Perfect by Sarah Bernard. This book is about a student who has an affair with a teacher and goes off and disappears with him. But this book takes place from her best friend's point of view and kind of coming to terms with the fact that this isn't an okay situation. I think that that's a really interesting take on it because I feel like too often we see student-teacher relationships as just like salacious material for shows like Gossip Girl or Degrassi. But I think it's nice that a book like this is out there to show the more realistic, toxic side of that. Next book I have is Out by Natsu Kurino. So this is about a woman who murders her husband, her abusive husband, and gets her co-workers help to cover it up. I don't know a ton about it, but I remember a couple of people talking really highly of it, and so I picked it up when I saw it on sale. The next book I have is Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I know that this is a comedic book that explores faith, and it involves a group of students who come together to kind of talk about their faith and the faith of the school. I've heard wonderful things about it, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. I need a light book every now and then. The next book is Recursion by Blake Crouch. I don't totally know what this is, but I've heard that it's very similar to his book Dark Matter, which I loved. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Probably my most anticipated book right now. I'm excited. And, whoa. And the last book that I have for 2019 to haul is Fake Blood by Whitney Gardner. This is a graphic novel all about vampires, and I think it kind of like pokes fun at them. It's about a boy who decides to fake being a vampire to win a girl's heart. I think it sounds really cute. I'm really looking forward to picking it up. Well, those are all the books I have for today. It's a lot, and next year I'm going to try and buy like way less books. I hope you like this video, and I hope you'll come back again soon. Bye.